Greetings. Welcome back. This is Queen Elle from QueenElle79. I am here with another astrological video. This one is regarding Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So this is taking place from April 25th through October 4th. Pluto retrograde happens every year, typically up to around 6 months per year. And I know that retrogrades have caught a bad rap with all of the Mercury retrograde information and memes that you'll see on social media. But Pluto retrograde, it really can affect you in a positive way if you allow it to, if you work with the retrograde. And that's why I hope that these videos, they serve the purpose of just helping to guide you as you enter a retrograde, shedding some light on what we can expect from the retrograde, as well as getting some additional guidance from our spirit guides about how we can navigate this retrograde and what we need to focus on to get the most out of it, okay? So, as always, I have my planner with all of my notes. Now, like I said, this retrograde is taking place from April 25th through October 4th. And the one thing to note is Pluto rules the 8th house. So if you're not familiar with the houses of your astrological chart, so there are 12 houses, similar to the 12 zodiac signs, and there are planets that rule each of the houses. Now, Pluto rules the 8th house, and the 8th house is all about rebirth and regeneration, essentially reinventing yourself. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, about your life's essence, the essence of who you are, of basically what makes you tick, okay? Now, Capricorn is known for being hardworking and tenacious. So this is what Pluto and Capricorn would typically represent. However, this is a retrograde. And so what that means is with Pluto being specific to your capacity for personal growth and for change, that this is the time to release any feelings that are in opposition of that. So any types of, old rules that you've set for yourself, old ways of thinking, old antiquated standards that you have for yourself, this is the time in order to evolve. It's important for us to release, let go of those feelings, okay? So I would say with regard to this retrograde that it's also affected by another planetary transit, which is Jupiter conjunct Pluto, which is taking place kind of covering the same area, or at least the early part of the retrograde. Now, what that means is with Jupiter being conjunct Pluto, they are working together, but they're working together to further emphasize the need for you to let go and release those things that no longer serve you. And not just in the general sense, but things that are not assisting or aiding you in the growth that you need in order to evolve, okay? Now, it all starts inside. Now, the overarching theme is that there's a need to release or let go of those old ways of thinking, like I said, and also to find a sense of balance. So, yes, the ways that you have thought before, your way of thinking from before, rather, it may have, at least seemingly, served you well. It served its purpose for the time being, but we must be all about, in order to evolve, in order to grow, you must be flexible in your way of thinking. There's that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, in this case, us as a people are the old dogs, and it's important for us to not allow that saying, that cliche, to ring true in our own individual lives, but to allow ourselves to be open, to not be so close-minded, so narrow-minded, but to allow ourselves the ability to open up to a new way of being, a new way of doing, a new way of acting, of behaving. And this is that time to do so. So with this retrograde taking place between April 25th and October 4th, there will be a lot of transits that will take place that I will, of course, share with you along the way. But it's important to definitely let go of those old ways of thinking. Now, there's a period of time, let me just look at my notes. There is a period of time where once we get to about August, that based off of some other planetary interactions that we have taking place. So the last half or last segment of this retrograde where there will be some time for Virgos and Libras will get the most benefit out of the retrograde as far as that reinventing yourself and having a new way of thinking and of being and of doing. And so that's something to keep in mind. So no matter what your placement is, sun, moon, or rising for Virgo and Libra, once you get to the tail end of that retrograde, you'll see more of a benefit there. The earlier part, I will say, it'll definitely affect Capricorns and be most relevant for Capricorns because of Pluto being in Capricorn, at least at the beginning of this retrograde. But definitely, this is a message for everyone. It's relevant for all of us. Even aside from this, even if you don't subscribe to the astrological way of thinking, which I mean, it definitely, astrology, including lunar cycles, it definitely affects, it has an impact on us whether you agree with it or not. But even if we set that aside for a moment, just know that with the current events that are going on right now, the way to see yourself get through it from an emotional standpoint, from a physical standpoint even, it involves you setting aside what rang true for you in the past, because that doesn't serve any of us right now, because these are unprecedented times. So it's really important to allow yourself the freedom. You know, it's so restrictive and constrictive to stay so bound to and so shackled to that old way of thinking that you're holding yourself back by doing so. You're doing a disservice to yourself even. So in order to allow yourself the room and the freedom to grow the way that is necessary from this point on, it's definitely, it's imperative, really. I implore you to release those ways of being. And it starts with doing work from within. It starts with, I would say, journaling has been very insightful for me. Just getting all my thoughts out, no matter what I'm thinking, to let go of the thought of things being so black and white, things being positive or negative or good or bad, and just be. Just be. And that's enough. That's more than enough. So it definitely involves doing that work and tapping into source, tapping into your own intuition and what is going on inside of you. And once you start doing that work within you, then you'll start to see the evolution. You'll see the growth within yourself and also on the outside. So we say in the spiritual community, you know, as above, so below, as within, so without. In order to see the growth that you seek and the growth that is ahead of you, in order to see that on the outside, you need to start the work from within. So tap into that, get connected. If you have any questions with regard to anything that you're going through, or where any area that you feel stagnant, or would like to unblock some areas that you feel are blocked or are holding you back, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to be of service to you. If you would like assistance with your astrological chart and need an analysis, I do provide those services via Facebook, so please reach out to me on my Facebook page. That's QueenElle79. Also, if you're interested in any of my daily card readings, I do daily tarot card readings on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is Queen_Elle_79. And stay tuned. There will be plenty more videos like this as we progress throughout this year. There are actually a lot of planetary transits taking place, specifically with Mercury, throughout the month of May. So stay tuned for a video shortly with regard to that and with my overall outlook for the month of May. But other than that, I just want to say be blessed, be safe out there, and stay tuned, stay connected to Source. Really do that. That's a way of grounding yourself spiritually, grounding yourself mentally and emotionally, so that you're not as affected or impacted by external forces that some of them are outside of our control. So let's start from within. Let's tackle the things that we have control over. Okay. And I promise you, you'll definitely see the benefit in doing that. Okay. So take care. Be blessed.